Hey guys, Andy back from SR Gaming, and welcome to the new indie game that's hit Steam, FTL. This game's come out not very long and it has stormed to the top. It is a really fun game. It's weird. It's sort of like a dungeon crawler, but not. It's you get a game, you get a ship, and you just have to go around searching, battling everything to get to the boss. So I am going to do this. It's going to be more of a look at rather than a series, but I might do a series of it if I feel like I want to. So I'm just going to show you the main thing. So this is the hangar. I'm going to sort of do it as a tutorial more than a playthrough. So you start with different people, different ships. I've got some of the ships because I played a bit, but of course different ships, different people and different layouts, different sort of textures and stuff like that. So I'm just going to show you a bit of like what's in the game. So you start up the game, and I started in Nebula, which is these different areas. So you just have to basically travel through, see what everything is, battling different ships, and winning against them all. So it's a game where you sort of level up your ship and get new equipment and stuff. It's what do you prefer to buy? Do you prefer to get better ship, or do you want to buy better weapons, crew members, stuff like that? And different things do different ones, and it would help if I put my guys in certain rooms. So sort of like, if I buy more shields, of course, I would be less immune to damage, sort of thing. I'd just have more levels. More engine gives you better dodge, get better oxygen, you can get med bay level up so you heal quicker, more weapons so you can have more active at once, and then so those are your main ships and they require power from your reactor. But you also have a thing called subsystems, and they work sort of like they don't need power and they're just constantly on, but you can upgrade them to be better and better, sort of thing. So it's like down here I've got my pilot, my systems and my doors. So you level them up to get better systems, pilot and doors. Because systems, sensors, they sort of give more vision of your enemy ship. You can see inside like where their crew is and stuff like that. So it's a decent game for how much it is. It's something like $6.99 on Steam at the minute. So this is a store. Like you see different augmentations you can buy. Long range scanners, that's a useful one, it's cheap. And then there's different weapons here, so I could buy like a heavy ion if I wanted to. That like disables their ships like systems. So I think I'm gonna buy a heavy ion, repair my hull, and buy some fuel. You need to always remember to buy fuel, because honestly the amount of times I've run out and just been sort of sat there. I'll store right next to it. So you just gotta try through. There's 8 sectors, and different sectors have different types of ships, different quests and stuff you'll find in them. So got another weapon. See here, this is the sector screen, and you see the civilian, hostile and nebula systems, and they all have a different sort of quest. And like hostiles are of course more dangerous, but you'll get better loot. Nebula, your systems are down because you're in a nebula, so it's sort of like massive clouds, so you can't see much. So it's sort of, and the different ones have different like loot and ships you gotta kill. So I'm gonna go to the pirate controls, because usually in pirate controls you get slavers, and the slavers give you a slave that you can have, which is pretty cool. So you also get different distress beacons, and what they are, just sort of like little, not quests, but like little side missions you can do that gives you certain things. Like just then I got a damaged stasis pod that doesn't do anything until later on, and you can like change it and get a cool new ship if I get that, or a new guy. So this is the basic ship I'm playing, the Kestrel. It's got like, its starting weapons is the Artemis and Burst laser, so just a missile and a normal laser, which is decent for what it starts with. But you get other ships that start with different things, like you get Engi ship, that's another type of race, Mantis ship, it's a stealth ship, rock ship, slug cruiser and Zoltan ship. And there's also a secret ship, which I don't know what it is yet. I think it's Crystal ship, which I get from that stasis pod. It's a secret ship that you can't actually see what it is. There's also the Federation ship, which you unlock from killing the boss at the end, which I haven't actually done yet. And I've been playing this game for quite a while. I've had it about a week now, and it's been my played game forever. Well, not forever, but I played it quite a bit. I think the only game I played more than this is Port 2 on my computer. That game I loved. But, so, this guy is a Zoltan, and they start with an augmentation, which is Zoltan shield, and basically, see this green bar here, that is just extra shield, so of course it took me a lot longer to knock down into the ship. But that Zoltan shield is only recharged, they only have it once per fight, it never recharges. So, I can accept a bigger bribe for fuel 5 missiles and 17, that's good because I'm running low on missiles. So as you see here, this has gone yellow, orangey, so that means it's been damaged. So I can take the guys in there repairing it, but I can take my human over to make it quicker. Oh, it's being repaired. So I'm just going to put him in the med bay so he gets healed up, and then I can send him back. I've got 116, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to buy 2 levels of shield and 2 power bars to be able to power it. And then I've got level 2 shields. So now I can take more damage before it actually hits my hull. So this is what I was talking about, a slaver. So if you ever get this quest, what you really want to do is say we will never surrender. When you get him down a certain amount, he will say, okay, take one of these slaves. And that is a good thing to do because you get free crew basically. Because you never really want to miss a fight unless you're on really low hull or something, because you're always bound to get something decent from it. So this game, people think it's going to be a really sort of tedious game, sort of same all the time, but I actually find it's a very good game. I've never had a game where it's been the same as the last sort of thing, because there's so many different ships, so many different ships you'll encounter, loads of different things you can get and stuff, and it's a game which is never going to be the same sort of thing, because like I've never got heavy iron hull laser twice straight away on this, and all the sectors are always different, randomly generated sector, which is it's a cool game. It's never the same, so you know you're going to get something new each time. So I'm at the exit beacon, which is long range. So see here, Engi homeworld. There's homeworlds for each of the different races, and that is where you get the ships from in there. So I've got an Engi from that guy. He is good at repairing, but he doesn't do as much damage like in when attacking. Okay, so do I attempt to download the ship's data stores? I can get updated maps, or should I just strip it? I prefer, if I'm at the start of a sector, I always try and get the data stores, because it's really useful to be able to know what's in the sector, sort of thing. So I'll just wait for my Artemis to charge up. If I do this as a natural series, I'll put a lot more detail like through everything. This is just sort of me going a look over sort of thing, showing you the different things you can do in it. Okay, so he's no doubt, and take out his engine so he can't jump away. I think the best thing to do as well is always go for the shields first, most definitely, and then go for the weapons so they can't do as much damage back. Store up here. I'm going to go to the store because I might be able to buy a crew member, which is, it's always good to have extra crew. Now to buy weapons or an augmentation. Certain augmentations are better than others, but some aren't as good. So I'm just going to repair my hull and buy fuel. I usually always, if I've got the money, buy as much fuel as you can, because it's better to have it in your stores, so you might not find a store for a while and you've got plenty of fuel, than just buying a little bit and be like, oh, I need fuel. sort of thing. So you also have a 3 distressors around each other. You also have certain ships that don't start with weapons, they start with drones, which is sort of still got the stasis pod. Yeah, you can get a ship that starts with drones instead, and what that does is instead you have them and they attack the ship sort of manually. But the only problem with that is, see, I've got a drone there, anti-personnel drone. They're decent, but the only problem is if your droid system goes down, you're screwed basically, because you can't do a thing. But it's good in some aspects, but bad in the other. Okay, so save the Engi, drone schematics, or yourself. I'll save the Engi. It's always useful to have Engis on board because of how quick they can repair things. It's always nice just to have something there that, so like if your O2 goes down and you need it up quickly, you can just, your Engi will have it up in a matter of seconds sort of thing. You get double repair. So I always like to sit, if I ever get spare people, I usually sit them in the med bay, but if it's an Engi, I like to sit him in either oxygen or my systems, depending on how I feel I'm going. But that's just my personal choice. Some people like to sit him in the med bay, so they're just sort of in the middle of the ship and stuff, but they can move pretty quick, the Engis, so I like putting him in the oxygen, so he's there and he will just auto repair as soon as it gets damaged. Last little bit on this ship. There we go. So, next sector, Zoltan Homeworlds or Zoltan Control Sector. So you also want to look when picking what's going to come next, sort of thing. So when I go to the Zoltan Controlled Sector, I can have a hostile and then 2 civilian, or Nebula hostile civilian. Or if I go to the Homeworld, I get hostile civilian civilian. So it's sort of like, do you want to go for more civilians so you get slightly less loot but it's easier, or do you want to go for the hostiles but run the risk of maybe dying? Well, I always prefer to go for the civilian ones because you get around the same amount of loot from, you get slightly more scrap in hostile, I think it is, and better weapons, but usually I prefer to have the sort of less, let's get the ammunition, damn it. Deactivate my shields. Bad thing about nebulas is there's like this everywhere. There's certain like sort of environmental conditions, so you can get asteroid fields or plasma storms. Plasma storms are really bad as it gives you half power, so you don't have as much to do anything sort of thing. So there's 2 are repairing that. He's going to probably die burning to death. Yeah, so I need to move him into there, move the guy from oxygen down to my shields. So I'm not bothered about getting up my sensors because sensors don't work in Nebula anyway, so, but I do know there's a fire in there, so I'll just emit the fire, get no oxygen, and then I can just put it out manually. So he's going to go down in a minute, so I need to move him over to there, and I have no weapons, which is rather bad. So I send him and him in there to be able to put out the fire and repair, and those 2 can go over to my sensors. Actually, they can go over there as well and send those 2 Engis out. So it's a very sort of strategy game. You need to use the pause button a lot, especially when fighting a ship sort of thing, so you know what to, so you can swap all your stuff out. Okay, those 2 are repairing that, those 2 need to go for oxygen, otherwise I will die. He needs to go there because he's going to die. Oh, my ship's down. So, well, that was a look at. I'll probably do some more of that later on. I'll do an actual series going through it properly, like instead of just showing you all the stuff, I'll go through and actually play it properly. So that was an FTL look at, guys. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.